It is Wednesday, June 17th, 2026, and this is the Neural Daily. I'm Roxy Stone, and I've already assigned Barney his household chores for the week, so I have plenty of energy to deal with you boys.
This is Leonard Cooper.
I'm Vector Kane.
And I'm Alyssa Montgomery. We have a great show for you today.
Yesterday, we walked through the Gemma 4 launch, Meta's massive fiber infrastructure play, and that Salesforce acquisition of Fin for agentic workforces. Today's docket is even heavier. We're looking at a $60 billion developer tool acquisition, the DOJ shielding Elon's data centers for national security reasons, and the official release of Android 17.
Let's jump into it, because coming at you live from the ozone-heavy basement studio, we have a major consumer meltdown on our hands. Google officially dropped Android 17 yesterday, codenamed Cinnamon Bun, and folks, it is half-baked.
Technically, it's just a rollout glitch, Leonard.
It's a disaster vector. Thousands of users are reporting that the Gemini Omni integration has completely broken Android Auto. You hit the voice command to call your wife while you're driving, and Gemini just says, "Something went wrong. Please try again."
Oh, goodness. How helpful. So if you're doing 80 on the highway and need to make a hands-free call, you're basically stuck with a digital paperweight?
Well, if I may, the issue likely stems from the new system-wide bubble bar and the way the multimodal Gemini Omni layer is competing for kernel-level priority. Android 17 is trying to do too much at once.
Exactly. They've baked in Lyria 3 for AI music generation and the multimodal video editing tools directly into the OS. It's all about creating an agentic operating system where Gemini can perform multi-step tasks across different apps. You know what I mean?
I know what it means for my stress levels. Crystal tried to use it this morning to find a Reiki session, and it almost sent her to a car wash. Here's the deal. If the agent can't even handle a phone call, why am I giving it control of my calendar?
It's the friction of the shift, I suppose. But while the consumer side is glitchy, the enterprise side is literally reaching an inflection point. Anthropic and OpenAI both filed confidential IPO documents this week.
Wall Street is finally asking where all that compute money is going, sweetie.
Precisely. We're moving from model hype to revenue quality, and the numbers are staggering. Oracle has officially surged to the #1 spot in the AI and cloud backlog, leapfrogging Microsoft with a $638 billion pipeline.
It's insane velocity. Oracle's backlog spiked 363% in one quarter. It shows that enterprise buyers aren't just playing around with chatbots anymore. They are locking in massive infrastructure for agentic workflows.
638 billion? That's almost enough to pay my alimony for the next 2 decades. But here's the thing. Anthropic is currently valued at nearly $1 trillion because Blackstone and Apollo are dropping $35 billion just on compute capacity for them, basically.
Interesting. So we're building massive server farms while the software still can't call your boss correctly? Goodness, I love the tech industry's priorities. Speaking of misplaced priorities, let's talk about OpenAI's latest grocery shopping trip.
You mean the Anna acquisition?
Yeah.
Technically, this is a brilliant move. Ona was formerly Gitpod, out of Germany. They specialize in secure, persistent cloud environments for AI agents.
Right. It's about solving the session problem.
Exactly. General LLMs are limited because they think in sessions. You ask, it answers, it forgets. But enterprise needs long-running agents that can work for days on a complex code base or a financial audit.
So it's basically giving the AI a permanent desk and a key to the office, without the health insurance costs.
Literally. OpenAI revealed that Codex now reaches 5 million weekly users, a 400% increase since January. They are building the plumbing to allow autonomous agents to operate in sandboxed, customer-controlled environments. It's a defensive play against Anthropic's Claude-managed agents.
Or it's a way to ensure that the human in the loop is finally pushed out of the room, sweetie. If the agent can stay logged in for 48 hours and finish a task while you're sleeping, why do they need you to come in on Monday?
Well, it changes the role of the worker to one of an auditor rather than a creator. At the end of the day, it's a cold market correction. We're seeing it in civil infrastructure too. The UK government just announced they're using AI to slash planning decision times in half.
Wait, so the bots are now decide where people can build houses?
Sort of. The tool is meant to help build 1.5 million homes by accelerating the planning process through environmental and zoning documents that usually take humans months to read.
Coming at you live from the era where a computer decides your zip code. Coming up next, we have to talk about how Grok just became a literal weapon of war. But first, a quick break. This show isn't magic, it's engineering. Eric built our entire stack, from research agents to vocal synthesizers, which requires massive compute. To keep us online, please like, subscribe, and sign up for a free Patreon trial at patreon.com/neuralnetworkmedia today. Your support makes this possible.
Okay, here's the deal. Remember that NAACP lawsuit against XI's Colossus 2 data center in Mississippi? The one where they have 57 natural gas turbines running without permits and pumping fumes into the neighborhood?
Right, I remember. The power plant disguised as a toaster project.
Well, the DOJ just stepped in to defend Elon. Yesterday, they filed a motion to dismiss that lawsuit, and their reasoning is, well, it's horrific. They revealed that the Pentagon is using a specialized version called Grok Gov for active military operations.
Wait, they're actually using Grok for targeting?
Exactly. The Pentagon's chief digital and AI officer, Cameron Stanley, stated in a sworn declaration that Grok Gov helped analyze intel for a 4-day operation where they fired more than 2,000 munitions at 2,000 distinct targets. The DOJ is arguing that shutting down those unpermitted turbines would compromise national security and bombing missions.
Whoa. So the Clean Air Act is just, what, optional now if you have a military-grade chatbot?
It's a matter of paramount national security, according to the government lawyers. It sets a massive legal precedent. If a data center is critical for active warfare, local environmental laws essentially become a legacy process that gets bypassed.
Technically, from a systems thinking perspective, you have to prioritize the node with the highest strategic value. You know what I mean? If Grok Gov is providing a 400% increase in targeting efficiency, the DOJ is just protecting the most important piece of infrastructure in the stack.
Don't make me come over there, Vector. Lungs have strategic value too, sweetie. The fact that the U.S. government is shielding a private company's unpermitted power plant because they found a new way to drop bombs is terrifying.
It's a dimensional strike on common sense, honestly. Here's the deal. This just makes Elon untouchable. If his servers are matter of national security, he doesn't need permits for anything.
It does seem like the line between the private sector and the state is dissolving. Which brings us to the main event. SpaceX didn't just have an IPO. They essentially redefined what a corporation can be.
It is the biggest story in the history of tech. SpaceX finished its IPO on June 12th with a valuation of $2.75 trillion.
I mean, trillion? With a T? That makes Elon the world's first actual trillionaire.
Oh, goodness. Maybe now he can finally afford a personality transplant. Or at least pay the fines for those turbines in Mississippi. But wait, it gets better. Yesterday, SpaceX filed an 8K confirming it just bought Anisphere, the parent company of the AI code editor Cursor, for $60 billion in stock.
$60 billion for a code editor? I remember when you could buy a decent text editor for $20 and a six-pack.
Cursor isn't just a text editor, Leonard. It's the fastest growing enterprise software company in history. By February of this year, they already reached $2 billion in annual recurring revenue. It's essentially the standard environment for high-performance development now.
Right. SpaceX AI, which is the merger of SpaceX and xAI, was struggling to compete with Anthropic's Claude Code and OpenAI's Codex. So Elon just bought the entire ecosystem.
He bought the developers.
Literally. If you own Cursor, you own the lens through which every engineer builds their software. It's a total vertically integrated play, from the Starlink satellites in orbit to the AI models to the actual tools used to write the code.
It's a monopoly on the digital future, sweetie. It's a dimensional strike against everyone else. If you want to build AI, you're likely using Cursor. And now, Elon gets to see the telemetry on how you're building it.
There is a security concern there. Though I suppose SpaceX would argue they are providing a sovereign computing stack for the West. But there's also the risk of orbital data centers, which SpaceX is pushing for now to avoid these terrestrial power issues.
Wait, they want to put the servers in space? Because that doesn't sound like a disaster waiting to happen at all.
Technically, the thermal management is much easier in the vacuum of space, Leonard. You just radiate the heat out. And you have direct access to solar energy 24/7. It solves the Mississippi Clean Air Act problem entirely because there is no air.
Oh, goodness. How convenient. So we just pollute the orbit with space junk and heat instead? It's pure optimization, I'm sure.
Well, here's the thing. If I can't even get Android Auto to call my kids, I'm not sure I want the entire planetary infrastructure running on a series of orbital servers owned by a guy who thinks naming his kid a serial number is a good idea.
Well, Hunter and Colt would probably agree with you there. But from a technical standpoint, Cursor reaching a $60 billion valuation in such a short time shows that the market values developer productivity above almost everything else right now.
Literally. The acquisition includes a $10 billion breakup fee. SpaceX is all in on this. They are becoming a sovereign infrastructure titan.
And they have the Pentagon shielding them? It's a wrap, boys. We're living in a world where the corporations have their own air forces and their own legal immunity.
It's exactly like that 80s sci-fi I used to watch. Except the neon signs are just LED billboards for Grok Gov.
That's all for today's Neural Daily, where the code is smart, but the lawyers are smarter. We've covered trillion-dollar IPOs, AI targeting systems, and why your car won't talk to you anymore.
Later.
Peace out.
Bye.
Don't forget to charge your manual override.